Forza Horizon 5 has been out a while, and it's freaking awesome. With so many things going on like SEMA and so much traveling this year, I was finally able to get home and completely no-life Forza Horizon 5. And as a tradition, to tell you my thoughts on the brand new Forza Horizon game. The first thing you notice about Forza Horizon 5 is just how much better it is to Forza Horizon 4. Everything just feels a lot more fresh, and Mexico is a true highlight of the Horizon series and arguably has the biggest variety of stuff to do. And I got a lot of Horizon 3 vibes from this game. The main issue with Forza Horizon 4 was that it had an absolutely beautiful map, but it was more of the same pretty much everywhere. And don't get me wrong, there is still more of the same. I still get awful wheel spin prizes like clothing, and emotes are unfortunately still a thing.
I'm telling you, racing is all about one thing: dance moves.
Character customization is very similar, but can we please retire emotes? Please? Please, God, please retire them. I could definitely argue that Horizon 5 is probably the prettiest racing game ever made. This is on Xbox Series X, and it's an absolute gorgeous game to look at. Lighting and reflections are the biggest highlight for me. Cars glisten in the sun and reflect in such amazing ways that feels almost hyper-real sometimes. If you're clever enough with photo mode, you can convince somebody that it's the real deal. The opening title screen is even enjoyable to look at. All the beautiful environments and things to do awaiting your adventure. There's plenty of cars to choose from and pretty much no brands missing, like Toyota and Mitsubishi in previous games at launch. And my first car as a tradition in Forza Horizon is to build the Supra and max it out, which is always a really good feeling. Showcases are back and are as fun as ever. You race trains, bikes, jet skis, and even planes. There's even one where you even try a Monster Jam style run in a stadium, which is actually harder than you'd think. Even though the showcases might feel like more of the same in previous games, there's still a better variety of them in this one. Also, the festival sites are very similar as the last game, but if it isn't broken, don't fix it. It's not a huge upgrade to the Horizon Festival, like going to some big festival in real life like EDC or Ultra or something like that. However, a big thing I want to talk about is the straightaways and drag racing. The drag strip at the main festival finally has better runoff than just running into grass like the last game. But what's even better is the airstrip, which is an old decrepit, rundown airport. But it isn't that bumpy, so it doesn't feel unusable like the last game. You would get on the airstrip of the last game, and it would just be way too bumpy to really understand whose car is truly faster. Plus, it ends with a massive jump if you want to go off of, which unfortunately glitches out sometimes. And the other drag strip is surrounded by Mayan temples, which is such a nice touch and nod to Mexican history. At least they got the history right with some of the landmarks and the environments. Some other games try to do stuff like this, and it just ends up being awful. They did take away the adjustable launch control, so that is kind of a bummer. Customization is even better in Horizon 5, but it's still quite not there with something like Need for Speed Heat. If Forza Horizon had Need for Speed customization, Need for Speed would be absolutely toast. You can be very creative even with your engine sounds. You can even hear what engine swap sounds like before you do it, and even part by part. So I won't be surprised if there's tunes out there for quote-unquote best sounding tune, even if the car isn't as fast as it could be. You can even diesel swap a Cobra R. Freaking wild. And there's also a whole bunch of new tires and transmission setups added to the game. There's even up to a 10-speed transmission. So finding out what best transmission combo is for your build will more than likely take a lot longer to fit your needs to shake the car down. The exact same tuning system is back in Horizon 5, and I'm 100% okay with it. It's easy to understand and it works. There's also Horizon Adventures, which advances the story mode. This has different types of races associated with Horizon and adds a ton of variety. There's the main stage, Apex, which is road racing, Wildlands, which is dirt racing, Baja, which is cross country, Rush, where you do crazy PR stunts like massive jumps, and Street Scene, which is the street racing aspect. In Horizon 5, you're already established as a superstar, and basically the king of not just this festival, but the older ones as well. The characters are likable, but I just wish the cutscenes were more than just the characters standing around. Side note, wheelie tunes are a lot of fun, especially with this barn find Jimmy. The paint and color schemes are also exactly the same as Horizon 4, and we also have the needed return of the auction house. The auction house is always great, but man, it almost turns into the stock market of virtual cars, because cars' value in the Forza Horizon auction house fluctuate like crazy. One day a car is 5 million, the next day it's 300,000. Before we move on with today's video, I want to thank today's sponsor, Upstart. If you dread looking at your credit card statements, you're not alone. The weight of debt can be extremely crippling, but Upstart can help you get on the path to financial freedom. And Upstart is a fast and easy way to pay off all your debt with a personal loan all online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 1 million people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. And rather looking at your credit score, Upstart considers other factors like your income, your current employment, and credit history to find you a smarter rate for your loan. And you can check your rate without impacting your credit score in just minutes for loans between $1,000 and $50,000. And you can even receive funds as soon as 1 business day after accepting your loan. So find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/blue. That's upstart.com/blue. Use our URL and let them know we sent you, and that's upstart.com/blue. Thank you so much, and let's move on with the video. The Formula Drift cars have also made a return, which are incredibly fun to drive, but it does reduce your incentive to build your own drift car, in my opinion. It's like, hey dude, this is already set up, go ahead and go. Another thing about the environment of Mexico is the random sandstorms that show up. You'll be driving along and all of a sudden you see this massive cloud heading your way. It's almost ominous. It's almost this feeling of, am I gonna make it? But in reality, it just gets really dark and dusty, so that's all you have to worry about. Another testament to the Xbox Series X is that Horizon 5 loads extremely quickly. On Horizon 4, you would wait a good almost minute for the game to load up. With the Series X, it's in the blink of an eye, especially with things like fast travel, which, by the way, with fast travel, you need to buy a $2 million house first to fast travel all over the map, and then it costs quite a bit of money to fast travel without doing the fast travel board signs. So you're gonna probably spend an evening hitting every single fast travel sign in order to have a better experience in Horizon if you just wanna jump around the map. The variety of jungle, desert, beaches, and just more always brings a change of pace. The main town center is a really beautiful representation of a Mexican town, but I still miss big city skylines like Surfer's Paradise back in Horizon 3. Horizon 5 also attempts to have somewhat of a story, something I've always wanted in Horizon, but it's not deep or anything, and the voice acting sometimes is questionable, with the body movements always not syncing up and the lips almost never syncing up. But that's just me nitpicking though. One of my favorite storylines though is you race a car club that is a bunch of rich kids that are salty that they didn't get invited to previous Horizon festivals. So it's really cool to hear the characters mention other Horizon festivals in the past, like Australia and the UK, fairly often, and it really brings the universe together. There's also a volcano and mountain road that gives off Fortune Island vibes, which totally isn't a bad thing. It's really fun to go as fast as you can up the mountain and then drift down the mountain with your buddies in tandem. It also has the best highway system in Horizon history. You can literally top out any car without issue because you have the space. There's also a lot less traffic in Horizon 5. It's a lot less common of a nuisance when doing stuff like this. Also, thank you Playground for choosing a map that barely rains at all. I was so over the rain system in Horizon 4 because it took place in the UK and it rains a lot there. Also, I'm salty that somebody stole the ThatDudeinBlue car club. You're not ThatDudeinBlue. Why do you gotta be that guy? I just wanted to do cool stuff with my friends. Festival playlists and challenges are back as well, in some form of seasons, but I'm not really quite sure where that's going. But I'm very shocked they even bothered with a winter season, because the player count always suffered in Horizon 4 during winter. Horizon 5's map is absolutely huge. To scale the whole place takes a while, and it's absolutely incredible. I also briefly want to talk about the Goliath Race. If you don't know what the Goliath is in Horizon, Goliath is typically the longest race in Horizon, and at the same time, it usually circles the entire map of whatever Horizon game you're playing. I had to say this is the hardest Goliath there is, specifically with this one area near a train track. and it's so easy to crash. At the same time, the AI in Forza Horizon 5 is so freaking sweaty. It is by far the toughest AI to beat in Horizon history. It literally feels like they have a nitrous button sometimes when you're coming up on them. And they take corners so fast sometimes. I do have some concerns that maybe there is an extreme rubber banding system of the AI slowing down and speeding up, accounting for the player's actions, but I haven't had the same vibes as something like Need for Speed or Need for Speed 2015. The driving physics of Horizon 5 have been completely redone according to Playground Games. It feels a hair closer to the Motorsport series, and for my first 30 minutes of playthrough, I had to get a little used to it, but I think it's a valid change. Off-roading is way more of a focus in this one as well because it makes sense. You're in the home of Baja and trophy trucks and dirt racing. There's also a collection system that rewards you for getting a certain amount of cars or collecting them. And in return, you get experience, credits, etc. Barn finds are also back, but pretty much in the exact same system as the other games. Horizon 5 takes most of the elements I love from previous games and combines it into one full package. I do have a few gripes though, which I will talk about in my next Forza video. That's all for now, and what do you think of Forza Horizon 5? Let me know in the comment section below. And make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for future videos. I upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and I will see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a wonderful day. This video is brought to you by Patterson Car Care. Get double of premium original detail product for half the price. Head over to PattersonCarCare.com or go to the link in the description below.